Hi, everybody. It's Monday, March 16th, just in time for Monday Chats with Maggie and Bunny. And here we are. Today, I added, hi, Bunny. I should say that first. Hi, Bunny. Before I just jump right into it, let's start off by saying hello, good morning. How are
Hello,
you?
good afternoon, and it's March 6th. You went ahead in time a little bit. You said March 16th, but that's okay.
16th. I'm looking right at my calendar saying the
That's okay.
6th. So today on my calendar, it did on March 6th. It said, and I posted it to my Facebook because it really impacted me. It said, positivity is essential for happiness. But remember that all emotions have something to tell us about ourselves. Process them, accept them, be willing to learn from them. Negative emotions may not be desirable, but they're vital for growth. Today, we're going to talk about mistakes and negative emotions and how we can use them.
Yeah,
Bunny, do you have anything to say about that topic?
for sure. So I heard a little while ago, I can't remember, within the last 6 months, somebody said something that changed my mind on what we consider negative emotions. So things like fear, sadness, anger, even. Anger is a lot of times the biggest motivator. There have been people who have been told that they couldn't be something, they couldn't do something, and that brought up some anger within them, and it actually caused them to say, oh yeah, I'll show you. And
Mhm.
that's a great way of showing like changing that quote unquote negative emotion into an action, into doing something. um and i
Absolutely.
and I know my biggest changes have always come from a place where um I didn't like what was happening anymore. So it was undesirable, right? So it was something that I didn't want to do. And so I it pushed me to change it. And that's when the biggest changes actually happen for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And that's where when it talks about that negative emotions are may not be desired by us, but they are good for growth. I
Right.
know for me, some of my biggest positive changes in my life have come out of suffering.
Right.
They don't come when I'm happy and everything is going hunky dory in my life. Those they can, but they don't usually.
Right.
Usually it's come through times of suffering that
Right.
we find our greatest strength. And that's
Absolutely.
one thing that I always talk about is at those times of suffering and those times when we feel our weakest is truly when we do have the most strength,
Hmm.
because all of our guides, ancestors, they and our angels, they all come to support us when we're in that way. So that's when we truly do have our greatest strength. And I also know from my own personal experience, I learn the most when I make mistakes.
Yeah, for sure.
Some examples of that are I like baking. If I mess up a recipe, it'll either teach me something that I never want to do again or something, hey, that was a good idea. By accident, I made something really good.
Hmm.
And as well, even doing what we're doing right now, talking on these lives, I would never have learned how to do this if it had not been a time of COVID when I needed to learn how to do
Right.
this.
For sure.
So blessings come from that. Another example for me is I had begun writing another book and I lost it all. I
Yeah.
did an upgrade on my iPad. And when the upgrade was finished, the book wasn't there anymore. So through that, I have learned how to transfer things to the cloud,
Yeah.
and I didn't know how to do that before. I've
Yeah.
learned how to find things that my computer misplaces. I've learned how to do so many things through that instance. And it was only one chapter. I'm grateful for the fact that it
Right.
wasn't when I finished the book I lost it. It was when I was just starting the book
Yeah.
that I lost it. So it's those things that I could have lost my mind and got all mad, but no, I processed them, I accept them, and I was willing to learn from it. What about you,
Absolutely.
Bunny?
Well, absolutely. Now it's so funny because when we were talking about what we were going to talk about today, I remembered this little quote that my math teacher in grade 7. I went to a junior high school in Toronto, so we had like specific teachers specific for some specific subjects, and I remember him saying, "I made a mistake once. I thought I was wrong." And so, of course, he was trying to say that he had never made mistakes. Now, of course, that's not true. We all laughed. We even as a 12-year-old, I knew that that wasn't true and that, everybody's infallible. But I have, a little part of myself, and you've been helping me through this in the time that we've been friends, is that I've often been told that I'm very hard on myself when I make mistakes. And I am aware of this, and everybody says, everybody's hard on themselves. Although I do think there are some people out there who are not that hard on themselves. They do just kind
Yep.
of let it go, and it's okay. Now, I could go into, some psychology about it, being the firstborn, and, and being and having been in air cadets and military, and, all of those things. I could go into those type A personality, whatever the thing may be. But the idea, then the fact remains still, is that I am extremely hard on myself, and I've been learning to be gentle with myself, because I definitely give other people the benefit of the doubt much more easily than I do to myself. And that is something that I have been working on, throughout, I guess, years. And that's continue. I continue to work on that, and to just kind of help myself be more accepting of mistakes. Cause like you said, they do help us grow. They do help us learn. Sometimes they're mistakes in personal boundaries with other people. So, I've allowed a certain relationship or situation to get to a certain point because I wasn't shoring up my own boundaries. And when these happen and I feel that feeling of, it's not so nice, I don't like this so much, I can learn that I now need to shore up that boundary and just kind of, polish up that stone, as we'd like to say. It doesn't have to be perfect, but we can polish up a little bit of that stone and see a new way. So
Right. Yeah, that's true. There's so many examples that we can give about, you know, negative things, or what we perceive as something negative, being beneficial to us. And, there's so many that, there's too many to name, but there's examples of that. And it's so important for all of us when you find yourself in that situation, as it said in that little reading that I did, to just process them and be kind to yourself.
yeah,
Like, don't beat yourself up when you make some so called mistake.
yeah,
Don't beat yourself up for it. Know that you're human.
yeah,
Part of being human is learning.
right,
We don't yell at babies
yeah,
when they can't walk. We
right.
don't yell at them when they fall down, when they're
No, we
trying to do
celebrate.
things.
Yeah.
No, we
Yay.
celebrate.
Yeah,
They're trying to eat and they get one piece of food in their mouth. I know I do that with my own grandson.
right.
He manages to get that spoon up there and then turns it upside down. I cheer him. I don't say, "You
Yeah.
stupid little idiot."
Yeah,
No. But
yeah,
yet to ourselves, we say that all the time. I
right.
can't tell you the amount of times that I've called myself names.
Yeah,
And that's so wrong. Like, we need to just be gentle with ourselves and
mhm,
allow ourselves to learn
right.
and explore new things, new
Uh,
opportunities, because new opportunities come out of many things. I think it's like Bunny and I were talking earlier. Wasn't WD-40 invented because somebody tried something for something else and that's
yeah.
how it came about?
And then I was
And
talking about potato chips and how they were actually come about because a restaurateur was upset that the person complained that his chips weren't crispy enough and were too thick. And so to get back at him, to retaliate, he made those really thin potatoes and fried them up. And now they're chips that I love.
so when we think of that, and when you hear the word mistake, ask yourself, was it a mistake? Or is this an opportunity for growth? I know when I was in the workforce, I used to always say every time that I would do something wrong in accounting, it made an opportunity for me to learn from it and never do it again.
Right.
Because most of the time when you're in the workforce and you do something wrong that has consequences, that makes more work for you, you don't do it again. You learn
Yeah.
from that.
Yeah.
So we need to learn to look at things in life that we perceive as negative or mistakes or something wrong
Mhm.
as opportunities. They're
Opportunity.
opportunities to do something different.
Yeah.
They're opportunities to try again. They're opportunities to be gentle with yourself and get up and start going again. Everything in life is an opportunity.
Mhm. Absolutely. And that's what we're going to leave with today. It's go find those opportunities. Keep making those mistakes and find the opportunities.
Have a great day, everybody. Talk to you
Bye.
next week. Bye.